7 o'clock in the morning, your alarm goes off. There it is, the start of another work day. You get up, brush your teeth, shower, and sit on the edge of your bed in your towel for your morning ritual of sitting there tired, staring blankly into space, thinking about how amazing it will be to retire early with the financial freedom to do what you want. Well, in this video, I'll be covering a simple way in which you can become a millionaire in as little as 20 years with minimal effort. Wagwarn people, welcome back. For those of you who don't know, my name's Benje. I'm a business owner and a third-year university student. Here I aim to help others by sharing my own struggles, experiences and advice. If you like what you're about to watch, I'd appreciate if you subscribe below, hit the like button and left a comment. If you ever want to reach out to me, feel free to follow me on Insta at benje.gs. Before this video starts, I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor and this video is completely informatory and educational. Alright, boom. So today's video is all about how to make becoming a millionaire an achievable goal within as little as 20 years instead of just being a dream. When I was growing up, and I'm sure as a lot of you were growing up, you always dreamt of becoming a millionaire, living in a massive mansion with a fast car and never having to work a day in your life. And as we become older, we realize that being a millionaire does not necessarily bring all these things, but it does bring one very important thing: financial freedom and the ability to set yourself up for life if you wake up one day and decide that, you know what, I'm not going to work ever again. And the beauty of this strategy is you don't have to come from a rich family. You don't need to worry about setting up the next multi-million-dollar business. You can literally go from being worth nothing to over $1 million within as little as 20 years. A common misconception people have when it comes to increasing your net worth is that you just simply need to be making a lot of money. But the amount you make makes a smaller difference than you think. Increasing your net worth actually comes down to the percentage of money that you save or you invest. If you're making $1 million a year, but you're spending $1 million a year, your net worth is never going to increase. If you live to the maximum of your means, meaning that if your life costs the same amount that you're making, then you're always going to be living paycheck to paycheck and never increasing your net worth. I've been guilty of this in the past, and I know so many people who live to the maximum or even beyond their means. I've got a friend who had a professional contract at a top 8 Premier League club, and one of his teammates in the under 23s, he had a nice house, all the latest designer clothes, a top of the range brand new Mercedes. But because of his outlays and the amount he's spending every month, half the time he couldn't even afford to put petrol in his car, so he had to get a taxi to training, or he had to ask to borrow some money. But I also know people who make a lot less, who manage to save and invest a large percentage of the money. You can be worth more than someone who earns more than you, and that is the key to becoming a millionaire in as little as the next 20 years. The first part of the secret to becoming a millionaire in as little as the next 20 years is simply by controlling your spending and not succumbing to lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation is where the cost of your living increases, your income increases. Things that you previously saw as a luxury when you were making less money now become necessities. Now, I'm not saying don't spend your hard-earned money, because who doesn't like treating themselves or their loved ones? Like, personally, I like to surprise my mum with a pair of shoes or some clothes every now and again. And who doesn't like to accidentally spend too much money in the club buying yourself drinks and your friends drinks? But it's all about being controlled with your spending. The average person does not have an income problem, they have a spending problem. If you spend even just the next 6 to 12 months living below your means and saving and investing as much money as possible, you'll see how quickly it just adds up, and find yourself wanting to save for the next 20 years and invest for the next 20 years until you hit that point where you've become a millionaire and you've set yourself up for life. And if, like me, you hate the idea of having a job and working 5 days a week up until retirement age, which will probably be something stupid like 80 for me, then you'll find it easy to live below your means because you understand the amazing effect it'll have on your quality of life in the future. And if you can't control your spending and live a little bit more frugally, then simply put, you might just have to win the lottery to become a millionaire. What you first need to understand is that saving your money will not make you a millionaire in as little as 20 years. Instead, what you need to do is invest. You need to let your money work for you instead of working for your money. According to the Office for National Statistics, the average cost of living for a household is £14,945 a year. This equates to about £1,246 a month. Bearing in mind that for someone like me, a 21-year-old uni student, these costs will be a lot lower. Now let's say for someone making £20,000 after tax, they'll be taking home just under £1,667 a month. This equates to around about £421 of money left over, which on a typical month, let's say you'd put into your bank. Now don't think this $20,000 a year after tax is unachievable, because as seen on totaljobs.com, they found that the average salary for a part-time job is £24,449 a year. A simple Google search will quickly show you that this is even more for full-time jobs. The average interest rate for a long-term ISA was found to be 0.75% in August of 2020. So with these figures, if you were to stick with that same £421 a month for the next 21 years, putting it into this ISA, you would end up with £109,000. This may sound like a good amount of money on the surface, but when you look into it, you realise that the majority of years your money is sat in that ISA, it is losing value. This is because inflation is growing at a quicker rate than the interest you're being paid by the bank. Banks are not a bad thing by any means, but they are not where you should be keeping your money if you want to see long-term net worth growth. So what about if you took this exact same £421 a month and built out or invested in a stock portfolio with an average return rate of 20%? Well, in 20 years' time, you'll be sat on over 1.3 million. That is the beauty of compound interest. This is something we're not taught in the education system. We're just told to keep our money in the banks, and only a select few are investing on a regular monthly basis. But now you could be one of the select few. Now I know some of you will not be well informed on how to build out a profitable stock portfolio or how to find worthy investments. And if there's enough interest, I can do another video on this topic. But I know for a fact there is some of you sitting there saying to yourself like, oh Benji, you don't get investments that return 20% a year and things like that. And all I got to say to that is, let's look at the past 10 years. A company that we all know, and I'm sure the majority of us use at least one of their products daily, is Apple. Over the past 10 years, the Apple stock has had an average return rate of 28.94%. Take it back a further 10 years and this only grows. The last 10 years for another household name, Amazon, are even better than Apple's. Over the past 10 years, they have averaged 33.85% return rate. Now, by no means am I saying that I would personally invest in a single stock continually for 20 years, but I'm just using them as examples to show that you can easily get that 20% annual return rate. There's also many other ways of investing outside of the stock market, like putting your money into crypto, sectors like real estate, something that I hope to go into in the future. No matter the sector or the way you invest, the key is to let your money work for you instead of working for your money. With the apps and websites available today, you easily set up accounts to auto-invest for you whenever you get paid. Just like when your direct debits leave your bank for your bills. I personally use Train212 for all my stock market investments, and if you'd like to sign up there, feel free to click my link in the description. When you sign up and deposit a minimum of £1, we'll both get a free share that'll be worth anywhere up to £100, which you can then do whatever with, whether that be sell it for an instant profit or hold it for your new portfolio. In order to make this successful though, you do have to follow some key steps. Number 1, an emergency fund. Before investing, you need to make sure you build out your emergency fund. This is an account with 3 to 12 months of your typical monthly outlays to cover for any unforeseen circumstances like car repairs. Number 2, research. Before investing in anything, it is important that you do your own due diligence and research. Without this, you're simply setting yourself up to fail. Number 3, diversify. In order to maintain steady long-term growth, you will want to diversify your portfolio so that if there is problems with one area of your investment, you have others to cover this. As mentioned previously, I can do a video on building out a portfolio and diversification if there's enough interest. Number 4, consistency. This strategy is all about consistency. It's not bad to spoil yourself and others from time to time, but it's important to regularly fund your investments to let compound interest work for you and make you a millionaire. And that's how you can become a millionaire in as little as 20 years. The key is to stay consistent, do your own due diligence, and let your money work for you through compound interest. If you like this video or gain some useful advice, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe below, hit the like button, and left a comment. Feel free to follow me over on Insta, and we will see you again soon.